Well, one piece of advice I would definitely give is if you are currently working, do not give up your job when you're writing your first book. And nearly everybody I know wrote their first book while working. I wrote my first book, I was working as a journalist in London, and I wrote it in the mornings, at lunchtime, in the evenings. And the thing about it is, because I was so passionate about writing, I couldn't wait. Even 5-10 minutes I got spare, I was rat-a-tat-tat. Every moment is precious. And you'd be amazed what you can get done in 15 minutes if you're focused. So I did it while I had a full-time job, and then I had the luxury and the privilege of being able to give up work and write full-time. But most people write their first novel definitely while doing a full-time job. And you know what? You'll find the time. Watch a little bit less TV, maybe don't go out with your friends to that meal, stay at home, write for 3 hours. You'll find the time. You know, when you're really passionate about something, you always find the time to do it. And not having the time, I'm sorry to be harsh, but it isn't an excuse. Find the time. Half an hour a day, 20 minutes a day, you'll be amazed what you get done in a week.
Lawrence Block said, you know, what you should do is put writing first. And that means, you know, say getting up at 5 in the morning if you have to get up at 7, and do an hour, 2 hours, and then it's done. And you have it done for the day, and you feel good. You feel, I did some writing this morning, and I got it done, and it's percolating around in your brain all day, and you think, oh, I wasn't sure about that bit. And then the next morning, you get up, and you can do some more. And it's very good. That's how I wrote the first third of my first novel. And I wrote it in January, and it's not particularly pleasant at 5 in the morning in January in Dublin. And so when I got up, then I thought, well, I better get something done, because otherwise I'm an idiot. You know, goofing around on the internet at 5 in the morning is not even a temptation. You're thinking, come on, get your work done. And so you will, that will help you. And any help you can get at that stage is good. But maybe that doesn't suit you, well, in which case, you know, if you get home from work, try, before you have to do anything else, to get it done then. Or you may have to cook a meal, or you may have to do this, do that. But find the time to prioritize it before other things.
The psyche, the unconscious, the cinema screen, the imagination, all of these, whatever it is also a bit like a dog. Okay? If you take your dog for a walk at 7 o'clock in the morning, first morning, 7 o'clock, dog's in basket. Second morning, 7 o'clock, dog is awake, but still in basket. Third morning, 7 o'clock, dog is by front door. Fourth morning, dog is by front door with lead in mouth, ready and waiting to go, and will go balmy if you don't take dog for walk. Your unconscious is the same. If you say to your unconscious, I'm only going to do, 800 words or 1,000 words, that's it, we're going to have a proper relationship, that's our understanding, that's the protocol, I'm not going to break the rule. The unconscious will reward you by obliging.
Now, one thing about working from home, I would say, is that you have to be, I think, somebody who can just block out mess. I don't mind mess. I see piles of laundry, I see dirty dishes, I just walk by them, go into my office and close the door and just completely switch off. Otherwise, I would never get to my office if I was cleaning and tidying and doing and sorting. I just close the door and I just ignore it. And I think it's very important to be able to do that, because my priority between 9 and 2 is to write. And everything else, I even switch my phone off most of the time. Everything else comes second. And you have to be fairly ruthless about your time, because we are all stuck for time and we all lead busy lives. So you have to be quite ruthless about your time and focused. You have to be focused and leave the washing, leave the laundry. It really doesn't matter. You can do it later.
When I started writing, I would sometimes be able to write and sometimes not be able to write. And then when I was able to write, I would then think, well, I must keep going because this is just so good, I'm on a roll and I mustn't stop. And after, maybe 800 words, maybe 1,000 words, the quality of the work began to tail off. And the further I kept going, the worse it got. I mean, pretty soon it turned into mud. And you can't, it requires a great deal of energy, requires a great deal of focus and concentration, and the psyche is not designed to produce endlessly prose. It needs variety, it needs a rest. Conrad wrote in Conrad's 800 words. I like between 800 and 1,000 words, and then I stop. Trollope, but he was a real pro, 2,000, but I think that's the limit. Again, Hemingway said, you know your limit, you set your limit, and once you reach it, you stop. Even if you're in mid-sentence. In fact, it's a very good idea to stop in mid-sentence, because then when you return the next day, you have a rein, you have a rope that you can pick up and follow.